Hello and welcome. I'm Maria Ressa. Welcome to Rappler Talk. In this day and age where technology is taking over, disaster preparedness can have new solutions, ways of spreading both information and awareness. How can we use this knowledge and this technology to solve old problems? What are the challenges faced today? Joining us is MMDA Chairman Francis Tolentino to discuss what he is doing and what we all need to get on board for in the coming days. Francis, thanks for coming.
Pleasure to be here.
So I want to know, what keeps you awake at night?
What keeps me awake? Thinking of some of the things that I failed to do as planned.
What is the most important thing that you're focused on right now?
Right now, in the next few days, perhaps the forthcoming Sheikh Drill, which I believe is very significant because it's going to be the first in the Philippines, Philippine history, first in Metro Manila. We've not done this drill before in such a magnitude or massive scale. So this for me is very important because you'll be involving almost all the sectors of society.
How many people are you talking about here?
I look forward to having 5 to 6 million active participants.
Why has this never been done before, and what challenges did you face to make this happen now?
Never been done before because we still have to reach that level of consciousness or culture wherein disaster preparedness should be an integral part. It's never been done before because it's been decades before Metro Manila really felt a big quake. We only have typhoons, storms, etc. So I think the recent events, Kathmandu, Bohol last year or a few years ago, and recent quakes in other areas like Surigao last week and in other parts of the world probably, and the disclosure of Phibol's Atlas roused our societal consciousness that perhaps Metro Manila might not be that ready for a big quake.
The 7.2 magnitude quake that everyone is talking about, that it could happen in our lifetime, the death toll, the expected death toll is between 30 to 35,000 people,
Yes,
is that correct?
Yes.
So when these maps of where the West Valley fault came out, when you guys released it, it scared everyone.
Yeah.
How bad can it be, and what do we need to do?
If you look at the figures, these are all scientifically validated. First, it came out from the 2004 Myers, JICA, MMDA Phibol study, 35,000 death. And then last October 2013 came the OSAID Phibol study, which validated the first study, almost the same. Really, really bad and messy in terms of collapsed structures, death almost the same, 33,000, 500 fires simultaneously in the first hour, 2.3 trillion damage in terms of infra and the economy. So it's really massive and horrifying to analyze. But I think the past few months really roused our collective consciousness that we have to do something. It cannot be prevented, but mitigating measures can be put in place that perhaps you can reduce casualties, injuries, as well as the greater impact to our economy, considering that Metro Manila represents 39% of the Philippine GDP. So we have to really shock-proof ourselves for that eventuality.
And what are the key concepts in order to make it shock-proof, to try to shock-proof?
Information is very relevant. People should be aware that when this thing happen, it is a fact that deaths would arise, injuries would be there, damage to infra would be there. So, and number two, the things that can be done even before an earthquake will take place. Right now, we can prepare in our own little ways, in our homes, schools, offices, and even the way we look at things. Filipinos may be fatalistic, but the mere idea of a structure collapsing is really something that is not a common day scenario for Filipinos. We're not afraid of storms. So I think number 3 is to make steps as a society. What I'm saying is that previously there are individual steps. We have this drill, we have this evacuation plan, we have a fire drill, but I'm looking forward a societal response to what will happen and how to make not just Metro Manila but ourselves resilient, the ability to recover. Right now I have an engagement also. I have to speak before some 100 franchise holders of Metro Manila. I've spoken to the various groups, and the response is very positive. They too have ideas on how to go forward after an earthquake.
If you were thinking about climbing the mountain and the top is we're prepared and we're shockproof, where are we now on this climb?
More than the middle.
We're that far ahead?
Yes.
That's great.
I think so. In terms of I might
halfway.
Yes, I might probably be more optimistic, but the response, I called for 8,000 volunteers to register online. We got the last time I looked was 2 days ago, more than 200,000 interested individuals. So you're really not just egging them, but you have aroused their consciousness that we have to be part of this.
They're ready to move to action. How are you using technology to help in this situation like this?
For this we have 2 websites. The Metro Manila SheikhDrill.com, wherein we place the guidelines, the pamphlets for the different sectors, and then the WWB Prepared Metro Manila, which is supposed to be a web for future long-term preparation. So we are definitely utilizing social media.
And we'll be working with you in Project
Thank
Agos.
you.
We believe the same thing, that we need to help as much as we can and get the information out. What about in terms of if we're 3/4 or you said more than halfway up this mountain?
But we have to climb the mountain and still go down.
So how, I guess, what are the biggest challenges that you face to make this?
The resources.
Okay.
The resources. Definitely we don't have the adequate wherewithal on how to make a massive projection that these are the things that we're supposed to do. Even local government units are not yet that well equipped in terms of collapse structures. Your fire protection has to be on board.
Yes.
Even the barangays. So it's resources-wise, I think we still lack.
Yeah.
Even other government agencies they admitted that they're not prepared for this. So we took the cudgels because we had the Metro Manila Disaster Risk Reduction Management Council, but in terms of resources, we don't have much.
In terms of leadership also, how do you pull together all the different local government units, all of the different city? I mean, you were a 3-time mayor of Tagaytay.
It's basically a mix of your own personal politics, your own personal modesty aside brand on how to deal with them. Most of them are seniors. You have for instance, here in Metro Manila, you have a former president as a mayor.
Who's a mayor?
You have a mayor who's the son of the incumbent vice president. You have a mayor whose son is a senator. You have a mayor whose husband is a senator. So it's a combination of fair play for them insofar as coordination with other agencies and MMDA is concerned. Plus, it's a more or less a personal relationship which we cultivated through the years, even before I was MMDA. So I was able to, modestly aside, to further cultivate that friendship with some. So so far it's been smooth sailing for me.
it's gone as you've
Yes,
expected, and
yes.
you're happy. You're happy with the progress that you're making
The relationship, I think so.
in general, because it's hard to coordinate that
Yeah,
many
I think
people
so.
and
I
funnel
think so.
them.
They belong to different political
Correct.
affiliations, but I think we have so far we've formed one group, and even I went below that. I went to the Vice Mayor's League of Metro Manila. We're still close. Vice Mayor of Quezon City, for instance, father is the Speaker of the House. So these are all different players, and I think modesty aside, that can be my my legacy of sorts. Wala kaming away.
And you get them to work together. I mean,
Yes, yeah.
the hard part in something like this is you're effectively in charge of 14 million people during the daytime, right? Getting 14 million people to deal with traffic, flood control, garbage, the quake, the Sheikh Drill, trying to coordinate different vested interests of all the different cities in that area. How, I guess, when you look at your list of priorities, what's the list look like?
Oh, if you wish list.
Priorities, the way you work on it now, and your, I guess, wish list. I'd like to know what your wish list is.
Just to ensure that Metro Manila's life goes on, but you have to improve. You have to raise the bar, for instance. But there's some things that probably will not make you look effective. Traffic, for instance.
Yes.
There are things beyond your control. MRT is not my turf.
Yeah.
Road construction is not my turf. Long-term plans of other agencies might not be my turf. Beyond my control. Even the issuance of franchises for public utility vehicles. So, coupled with frustrations and bureaucratic anguish, I think top of the list would be to make life more bearable. Even if they say we're congested, polluted, people still flock to Metro Manila for opportunities, economics, health, education. So it's the priority is to really weave all of this, including the problems and the solutions, and present it into a more bearable, acceptable, palatable urban life for all.
And in the time that you've been MMDA chairman, the most successful moment, your high point and your low point.
Not yet done. There's
I
still
know.
a few months. High point. When one of the highlights probably was when we opened that Southwest bus terminal. Some said it cannot be done, but we did. There's supposed to be 3, but the 2 others are not part of my jurisdiction. But showing that it can be done would mean that government can still address transportation problem if we really put our hearts into it. The opening of the Pasig River Ferry is a big lift. The initiation of the traffic navigator online. I forgot the others. Low points, probably when you see yourself as very frustrated.
Yes.
In failing to do some things that perhaps partly within your control and partly beyond your control, and you end up getting the blame for failing to accomplish, even if it's not supposed to be your mission.
And what do you do in moments like that?
Well, it will pass. It will pass. Days will pass. But another probably frustrating moment for me is when I projected several solutions. Some were not even half considered by other agencies. I was the one who proposed to invalidate all driver's licenses in the first place, and then let's start anew.
That's a good idea.
I proposed the cancellation of all franchises and start from zero. I proposed and I partially implemented the lady bus drivers. I proposed when the construction of big ticket infra projects were imminent, the staggered working hours for private and government sector. 4-day work week for government and 4-day school week.
And these are all to solve the problems of
Yes.
congestion,
Yes.
right? And accidents.
Not implemented.
Yeah.
Had it been implemented, probably we will not be in this congestion mess, because we're going to the same destination at the same time, same part of the day.
But part of it, as you pointed out, is infrastructure. I mean, I go back to the root cause, which is really infrastructure.
Yeah.
It's not created for 14 million people. I remember
Yeah.
when it was still 10 million people.
Yes.
I guess now let's go back to the Sheikh Drill before we end. And it's really great to listen to your thoughts on this, since you're in charge of so much. The Sheikh Drill, why did you focus on this one now, and what do you want out of it? What do you want from the people?
The Sheikh Drill I was proposing that since 2.5 years ago. Even before Volks came out with the Atlas of the West Valley Fault. Nobody was listening then.
I think that Atlas made it very real.
Yes. Atlas made it very real. The showing of the Santander's Fault
Yep.
movie, and then you have the Kathmandu quake. So it's more realistic for some.
Yeah.
Then they realized that baka naman tama nga yung Sheikh Drill. But when I proposed that 2.5 years ago, nobody listened. Now we're pursuing it. I'm glad that people are listening. Even institutions. One mentioned this. Are some institutions not participative before are now joining. So we look forward to a regular drill. Even when I'm out of office, 2016, there should be one the same date.
Right.
2017, 2018, until we reach that stage when this will be part of our institutional memory.
You know, in the early 90s, I covered Japan, Tokyo's earthquake drills. They were crazy. I mean, and everybody knew exactly where to go, exactly when the first horn sounds. It was insane, and I always wondered why we didn't have that here.
We'll have.
So your last thoughts in terms of, you can talk to, what do you need from the people? What do you need from Filipinos?
We for the July 30 event, we ask for your total participation. This will not last more than 1 hour. We ask for your cooperation and tolerance, probably inconvenience for some, but this is for us the right thing to do in terms of instilling that culture of preparedness, which cannot be achieved overnight. We ask. I even told the business sector it's about time that they collapse the wall of competition.
Yes.
And work as one. And I think some will be working towards that direction. Even as the Hospital Association of Metro Manila to allocate 15% of their resources personnel-wise in terms of emergency to field hospitals.
Yeah.
I asked I recently met just this morning, early this afternoon, the Funeral Association of Metro Manila to have warehouses outside their own funeral rooms to prevent them from being damaged. They should have an inventory of all formalins and things that they use. And we even asked them to train some of our personnel to act as embalmers. And a lot of other things. These are things not thought of before. Even this one, probably might be interested in this. Metro Manila will be divided into 4 quadrants.
Yeah.
I asked, when I met 85 BPOs, I asked them if 4 BPOs situated near the quadrants can intercommunicate with each other to serve as the communication link when a disaster happens, and a communication link of Metro Manila to the rest of the world. If it can be done, there might be a fiber optics connectivity lying somewhere out there which will not be damaged, and for them to serve as the backup broadcast radio system for Metro Manila, because these are good communicators. We have thousands of them, young, skilled workers working graveyard shift. So these are the things that we aim to have within the next few months. And then we've asked the Armed Forces of the Philippines to be pillars in this drive, the Northern Luzon Command, the Southern Luzon Command. Some of the things we've not been doing, and you'll be surprised, even the All-Terrain Vehicles Association,
Yeah.
hobbyists, they're joining because apparently their vehicles can go through rubble sites.
Correct.
So a lot of new things. Even for me, this is a learning experience.
Fantastic. So this is July 30th.
July 30, 10:30 a.m. and for Pasig, this district, 8 to 9
8 to 9. Okay.
p.m.
Thank you so
Thank you, ma'am.
much.
Thank
Thanks so
you.
much.
Pleasure to be
Folks,
here.
July 30th, hashtag Sheikh Drill. We've been talking to MMDA Chairman Francis Tolentino. Disaster preparedness. We need to do it. I'm Maria Ressa. Thank you for joining us.